Hello Facebook people, I'm Konstantinos, and today I'm going to fix one mistake that I did in podcast 88. So, in podcast 88 and in another video, I have mentioned that when you are going to add creatives, ad sets or ads in a working ASC or in a CBO campaign, there is no way that they are going to take the budget from a winning ad set or a winning ad. And I actually called it bull. So I'm one of the few people that I have the guts to admit that I made a mistake. Not because I didn't know it, if you want to believe that, but because I got carried away by some consulting calls that I have done this period with several people that I have seen ad accounts working with the one campaign strategy, and they were tossing creatives inside again and again and again and again for months without the leading ad sets or ads losing their spend. Hi guys, I would like to interrupt this video in order to talk to you about my new mentorship programs, and I would love if you go to the website. You're going to find the link in the description, or you can find it in the menu of my website, and over there you're going to be able to see the different mentorship programs that I have. You can find the one that is going to fit better your needs, and I will hope to see you there. Below the podcast, I have seen some comments that are saying you're not right. I have seen it. There are ad sets that they're taking the budget, ads that they're taking the budget, and I said to all of them, okay, send me a video so that I can see what you mean and all of that. And one of them was kind enough to send me a video, and we had a very nice conversation, a very nice debate in Instagram. And in the next podcast, I'm going to also show it. So most probably you're going to see first the podcast. Of course, for his privacy, I'm not going to show the messages, so you have to believe me that this has actually happened. And I'm going to read you the messages that he sent me. He sent me also a video which I cannot show you because he wants to keep his anonymity, but he's a freelancer working with 5 accounts, and he has shown me cases which I'm going to explain to you in a bit. So what did I say? I said that I don't believe that in any case, this is my mistake, the budget can be taken from a leading ad if you keep adding ad sets and ads with new creatives inside a campaign. I'm wrong on that. I have seen it happening, and I have seen also video from the people that they send me videos of happening, and it can happen. But again, I will tell you at the end of the video why I think that this defeats the whole purpose of what we do. But anyway, it can happen. So this is what we are discussing now, that it can happen. So in my previous videos, if I have ever said it that it cannot happen and stuff, I'm just correcting the mistake right now. Basically, he did send me a video where he had one campaign that has spent 1 million, and over there, after 2 years, he says that it was because that the company was not giving good creatives. This is why it took 2 years. Eventually, there was an ad that actually took the budget of a winning ad set. My argument to that was that basically in this campaign, if we see it, if we take a time machine and we go back in the time 1 year ago, or at the beginning, and you put again the same creative, it wasn't going to win this winning ad set, but this winning ad set got fatigued after 2 years, so eventually it actually lost. My whole point was that, okay, it took you 2 years. He told me that it wasn't 2 years because the company wasn't giving good creatives and stuff, but I guess there's always going to be an argument on that, to what I believe and what he believes, but he was a fan of the one campaign method and stuff, and I will now take my phone and I'm going to read the conversation, the answers back and forth. So apparently I cannot read the whole conversation. I will try to keep you with the most relevant ones that they're going to give you some value. First of all, he started with a comment that this is not right, you're wrong about that. I said, okay, I respect your opinion, but do you have any proof to show me and stuff? And he was kind enough to send me. He says, hey Konstantinos, here's a screenshot of some ad sets pulling spend in CBOs. I made this video especially for you, as you're passionate about Facebook ads, so I would appreciate if you don't share it with anyone. I'm not going to share it with anyone. I just shared it as I informed you with 1 or 2 of my friends freelancers, just for research purposes. So basically I did give him some of my remarks over here. I told him that I also found this mistake, that I want to rephrase it into my next podcast and say that yes, they can do take budget. But I told him my main argument over here that I don't see why you are having one campaign and you are keep tossing creatives inside that they might work on their own campaigns. And you will see that by the end, he actually admits that yes, he doesn't exclude the possibility of this taking their own budget eventually, but for sure this is his preference and this is how he likes to work with campaigns. Because I told him that if you keep tossing, let's say that in this campaign we had 77 assets, I remember it, and one of them was taking the budget, and then he found another one that took the budget. He kept the old one, but he had also the other one that actually took the budget. So he's proving his point that basically even if something is working for a long period, it can overrule another if it's a better ad. So the whole point of this philosophy of the people that they preach about the one campaign theory is that if your ads and your creatives are worthy enough, they are going to overtake another ad set or another creative. To me, there's no point to that, because what are you winning on that? You are winning just a campaign that you are just keep increasing by 20%, as he has done in 2 years. He reached it to the point of spending 5K per day. Not bad, I'm not diminishing it, but I'm just saying that he could have done this faster if he was working with multiple campaigns. Again, I'm also supposing things, maybe it wasn't going to happen, but I believe that it was going to happen much faster, because all of these 75 creatives, if they were normal creatives, and he was going to toss them in their own campaigns, some of those they were going to work. Because what you're trying to do when you are working with one campaign is you're trying to find a better creative from the one that you have, and then from the one that you have another better creative, and then another better creative. This doesn't mean that the other creatives that they don't take budget, they cannot spend on their own and they cannot have sales, while your good, very good creative is also getting sales in its own respective campaign. This is what I don't get. He told me, let's go to his comments basically based on what I have commented over here. I told him that the reason he does this is because the spend is high. Of course, we have to understand that when we speak to a lot of people, we have to be careful of what we say. So this is a lesson for me of not saying something completely accurate, and get carried away. But on the other hand, saying that this thing is working everywhere is also dangerous. Because if you're having a campaign which is spending 100 or 200 or 300, then, and you don't have a lot of budget, then you are not giving a lot of space to one ad set or one ad with a new creative coming inside a campaign to take over, okay? But if you're having a campaign which is spending 5K and you have just one ad set doing all of that, then you're tossing inside another creative. It has better chances of getting some spend from the 5K actually there. So that was my point. His answer is, it does it on low spend too, but it's not going to happen if you already have a good creative, okay? So the whole point is you are adding the creatives once you've scaled to a point where the original creative is no longer able to work as effectively as the environment has changed due to the scale. If you intentionally set up low spend campaign with bad creatives, then added a good one, you see it will take the spend. Happened when I started my brand, which was like 100 a day spend. So basically here we have a completely different approach, which says that you keep tossing inside creative so that you can have a better ad set, which you are going to be able to scale more by increasing the budget on this campaign. I completely don't believe in that. I think it's more risky. I do have seen it working in some other accounts, but there are much less ad accounts comparing to the other accounts that are working with multiple campaigns. And I have seen it working also with really, really massive products like a pillow or something that's going to sell to a big variety of people or a lot of people. To me, this campaign structure makes only sense if you want to increase the ROAS. So let's say that you're not happy with ROAS. You're having, let's say, 2 ROAS with one creative. You don't want to scale. You don't want to do another campaign. You do put inside creatives all the time by just trying to get something that's going to get better ROAS, because if it's a better creative, it's going to get better ROAS. So I'm saying, still, this doesn't justify doing it on the same campaign unless if you want to improve the ROAS. In the one campaign, you try to find a good creative. After you find it, you keep doing it, I'm asking him. Move to another. After a point, you do try to find a much better creative from a working one, while all these other creatives you tried and didn't work can have their own campaign and you will be able to scale also. There is no overlap as long as you do different creatives and not the same stuff again and again. So after that, I did ask him that, okay, you did spend 600K in this specific ad set that actually lost from the other new one, which happened recently. And on all of this period you were spending with this one and you went to 5K spend. He says this client has a problem with creative production. That's why that creative has run so long and spent so much. It's also a great creative and has allowed me to grow their business a lot, but they would be even bigger if they had been making quality creative. It's only now I'm getting what I need, and that's why I have examples in the last 3 months of things really pulling significantly spend and the business see a massive CPA drop when that happens. It's a little bit convenient to say that. I'm not saying that you're lying, but I'm saying that after 2 years you were able to actually have in a very big campaign after 600K spent in an ad set to replace it, and you just say that, okay, it's because now the company is giving me good creatives while I didn't have good creatives before. I think if it was going to happen in 1 or 2 or 3 months, then it would have more value to me, okay? Not that it doesn't have any value to me right now, but it would have more value to me. It would be a better case study. I tell him, look how many creatives have been tossed all of this period that they could have worked in their own campaigns. He says, not really too many. And to be honest, most of them, they were not going to work because they were bad and all of that. This is the nature of working with clients. I told him that maybe that account could have scaled more if you have done multiple campaigns. True, it's possible, but I ran accounts like this in the past and I personally feel that's more stable growth. I totally respect that. This is personal preference on how to run things. I told him I still won't use it. On the first campaign, it took 2 years, so I'm not going to just, because of that, use the one campaign strategy, which I have used. It doesn't work for me, at least. As above, but actually it started right away. That 600K creative wasn't the first creative in the campaign. It replaced the previous top creative they had and couldn't beat for 2 years. But it was just me going through their archive and seeing what they had as similar creatives and so on. So this was the most popular color and it was guaranteed that it was going to do better. Still, he doesn't reply a lot about it. Then I told him that because it took 2 years for this to happen, it kind of disapproves the case, because some companies will close in 2 years if they just keep tossing creatives inside the campaign, expecting for the ad set or the ad to take budget overruling the main one, like the case studies that I have seen. Then I asked him, wouldn't you reach this faster with many campaigns, testing many creatives at the same time? And he says, but you spend more on testing as you pay for failed and successful tests. With this method, if it's not going to scale further than where you are, you don't spend any money. So basically, the argument here is that if you keep testing on other campaigns, okay, basically you are going to spend money on testing, okay, while on this one, if it doesn't take budget, you are spending nothing, okay? I find this useful only if you are not profitable in the main campaign. So this argument, I do understand it, but I do understand it from the perspective that you're saying that, okay, I'm not profitable, I'm getting 1.9 ROAS, I need 2.3 ROAS, I'm not going to do more campaigns because this is going to give me a bigger headache of creating a bigger loss for me because of the testing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to toss creatives. When something is going to be on the 2.3 ROAS that I'm profitable, then I'm going to move on. But if you're profitable on this campaign and you're not doing other campaigns, then I don't get this argument. I do get this argument if you want to use this strategy, if you want to find a better ROAS creative which is going to make you profitable. He says, I told him that if we take the time machine and we go 1 year back and this ad set was still strong, we don't know if it was going to lose from the creative that it lost now, because it wouldn't have this ad fatigue and all of that. He says, you're misunderstanding the point, I think. For your information, it has been 1 year. You can see the dates in the video, but the point is that we didn't need a better creative a year ago. That creative did the job and I could scale weekly, but we hit a point where we couldn't scale as fast with that being the best creative. Only the new ones have allowed us to move much faster. Then I tell him, my question is simple. Do you think that all the other creatives, the 70 other ads that you had, they wouldn't work on a new campaign on their own? And he says, yes, but it's hypothetical. We don't know that would be the case. Their blended performance may not be better. And I still say none of them, this is the core of our disagreement, because I see them working, even taking a campaign with 10 assets, leaving the 2-3 working, duplicating the rest. He says, keep in mind, I've been running accounts for 5 years. I didn't always do this way, but I do see it now based on the past experience with other stuff. Okay, don't try to convince me with you running 5 accounts, because I ran 40. So it doesn't make, I wasn't trying to insult you or anything. I was respecting you while we were talking. So I tell him, I don't reply to you as a beginner, as you can see. I do see that you can do it for a long time. He says, I told him about duplicating the rest and stuff. He says, yes, I know this works. I know someone who is doing it too. I'm also doing it. What do you mean you know someone? I'm also doing it. And then I'm telling him, so in your opinion, you're telling me that they wouldn't work. I still wait for an answer on another campaign if they wouldn't work. I also ask him, do you believe that the main, it's only the one that's going to win and all the others can be tossed away? And then basically he says, some would work, yeah. And I tell him, okay, I got my answer. So you do prefer more this method because you understand it better, you have better control and all of that. It works. What you do works, that's all that matters. We do agree on that. We are here to share our experiences. It was a very nice debate with him, and at the end of the day, we debated on some things. He has his points, I have my points, but at the end of the day, we're going to end up doing whatever we see that is working across accounts. And then we discuss a little bit about how you should not use, different strategies, but we do take a bit from each channel and see what we can put in our videos and how to work with it and all of that. So basically my argument was that if you were testing all of these creatives into their own campaigns, maybe you could have scaled faster. His argument is that if you have done that, maybe you have lost money into the process of testing them. My argument to that is that if you are unprofitable with your main campaign and you're just tossing creatives inside to find one which is going to make you profitable, so increase the ROAS, I do get it as a strategy. I don't get it as a strategy if you're getting the ROAS that you want and you want to scale and you're just trying to find a better creative all the time, tossing all these other creatives and other assets that they could have sales on their own campaigns. But I do get it as a strategy that it's a convenient thing for him to scale like this. It's not convenient at all for me to scale like this. And I don't think that's working with all of the products, to be honest with you. And also with the things that we teach in the channel, with having different angles and all of these different things across the different campaigns that we do, so that we can be able to scale and not fall under the daily loop theory. I have done several debates in my life with experts, with my friends all day long and stuff. This is the first time that I have challenged someone. He was brave enough to come forward with his own philosophy. We ended up saying that we disagree with our own arguments and stuff, but we also agree that yes, you can use this for that, yes, you can use this for that, so we don't discard completely the strategies, okay? And I do respect that this is the way that his preference of working. He does respect that this is the way of preference of my working. And at the end of the day, we all saw what we have seen in ad accounts working, and it's up to you to fix your own philosophy for your own ad account. So this is the first video that it's actually a debate with, back and forth messages and stuff that I'm posting. Please don't start sending me messages, all of you now, to debate and stuff. This was a specific case, especially you, liar 45. I wouldn't like to debate you at all. So let's keep our relationship with the comments and stuff and the answers that I give you on the podcasts. Anyway, I'm joking. So guys, if you want to learn more, you can check my book, my course, my website, and of course my mentorship programs and all the testimonials below my mentorship programs, that we do make this kind of conversations and debates stuff, especially in the inner circle also. And don't forget, guys, that until we meet again, be creative and be consistent.